Hello and welcome to the Third and Long Podcast review show. It's been an interesting week of results with some interesting results and interesting games and interesting matchups. As always, I'm here with Ollie Butler Henderson and Phil Perrin. How are you boys?
I was great until you butchered my last name, mate.
Well, to be fair,
It's a tax first thing.
at least I got Phil right, which is better than Ollie does most weeks.
That's very true.
I'm allowed to get things wrong because that's just me. I wish you guys would see Shane or see. I've got already Phil moshing out when the intro music's on. It's great.
I just love it. It's my hype train. It's my hype music to get me hyped for the show.
Yeah,
Love it.
man.
Especially
Hey, we got it.
like come out the shower, so like my hair is like proper like not hair gelled in or hairsprayed in, and I'm like proper ready.
Love it.
On the whole, I mean, well, if Shane was here, I would say like 3/4 of us had a devastating Sunday.
I think that's why Shane's not here, to be honest.
He was proper like he was like I thought I was vexed about the 49ers game,
Yeah.
but Jesus Christ, man, he was not a happy bunny. Was our
But
Welsh
2 weeks
winger.
ago, he was saying "Pay Lamar."
Yeah, and then Lamar's just gone back going, oh, Lamar, oh. When did he turn into
Unbelievable.
like the 2022 version of Trent Dilfer? Am I right? Am I right?
Oh, more Trent Dilfer. More Trent Dilfer.
It's taken a grand total of 1 minute and 52 seconds for Trent Dilfer to be mentioned. Love it.
I mean, to be honest, I'm just happy for once we don't have to talk about the Raiders.
That's
God.
true. Well, we can talk about the Raiders. I was very tempted to like either put on my Vikings jersey tonight or my Raiders jersey, but I was like, no, let's intercept cancer this month and show that we're
Something. I think Phil's crashed. Should we
Yeah,
roll
no.
on to Thursday night's games?
yes.
Oh, Thursday night. That was another snooze fest, wasn't it?
Yes, Carson Wentz managed to break his ring finger and has put him out for what, 4 to 6 weeks now,
Yeah.
which is a bit of a shame. But it means Tyler Heineke comes in now. But
Taylor
Carson
Heineke,
Wentz is-
the quarterback of the Third and Long podcast.
oh yes, he is. Carson Wentz is 7-0 on a Thursday night.
I know, it's crazy. It's like Kaepernick. I think he was 12-0 on Monday night.
Some people just like primetime games,
And some
unlike
people don't. Kirk Cousins.
yes, that's your game too.
Do you know
As
what- do you know
our
what
former coach.
blows my mind about Thursday's game? This is really, really. It's the most interesting thing about the whole game as a whole.
The end?
Amazon. Well, not the end. Forget the end. The game itself is the game. But Amazon are spending $1 billion a season for Thursday night football.
It's more than that.
Well, they've roughly got it down as a $1 billion seasonal contract for the next 11 years.
I was under the impression they paid 13 billion for 11 years.
It's
I've
mad,
got
isn't it?
I've got here. Amazon will spend $1 billion per year on NFL's Thursday night football.
I don't know. Some guy worked it out, and it worked out to about £76 million a game.
It's stupid amount of money. It really is. And 76 million. Yeah,
And,
they've given up those crap games.
Yeah, Commanders
two
Bears this week. Last week was what? Broncos versus some other team. And
Yeah.
the Steelers.
And next week it
It's
is
the Saints versus the Cardinals.
which could be an okay game.
No, it
Could
won't
be.
be.
No,
Could
I don't
be.
think so. No.
I
It
did say
really-
could be. Come on. It has the potential to be a good one.
NFL got a great deal in that Thursday night football. Do you think?
I think they do.
I'm with John. I feel like it could have been a great deal, but then they get fixtures like the Broncos.
The
playing-
last two.
Who did the Broncos even play last week? I can't even remember. Was it the Colts?
Yes, it was the
Oh,
Colts.
yeah.
The thing
Yeah.
is, though, right?
And let's just remember. So the Broncos are playing on Monday night this week, yeah?
Yep.
This is week 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's
They
their
played three
fourth
prime
primetime game.
Is it? Oh, of course, they played one when I was in Boston as well. The annoying thing is, right? They could have had Chiefs, Bills on Thursday night. They could have had you guys on Thursday night. They could have had Jets and Green Bay on Thursday night. There were some really good matchups this week that they could have put on Thursday night, and
Yeah.
they didn't.
The matchup
And it
next
is-
week are really
It
bad.
blows my mind like how much power they actually have over that, like in terms of the fixtures, because they might not have Like, it might genuinely be restricted to like CBS, Fox having a deal in place where they have to have a certain amount of games shown on that network, and it might literally just be down to as Amazon having the best of the rest. So, I mean,
Are the Patriots are the Patriots on Thursday Night Football in week 8 or something?
No, because we are week 7 Monday Night Football. So
Yeah,
we would
I
be
know.
week 8.
I was looking at the primetime games this week. They're all rubbish.
Yeah. Oi, behave. It's
I'm sorry,
Niners
but-
playing.
I'm sorry, but we're playing the Chiefs. We should be on primetime.
yeah.
Maybe. I will say it was really good to see Brian Robinson score a touchdown.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely loved that one. You know, it's really, really nice to see him back 2.5 months after he being shot.
I guess you guys are Thursday Night Football week 13.
We are first.
I
We got two.
I know Niners are Thursday Night Football week 15.
We got
against the
two
Seahawks.
Thursday night games bounced back to back.
Oh yeah, I know week 15 Niners are against the
Yeah.
Seahawks.
Shall we get your rant over and done with? Because there's not much else to talk about Monday, Thursday Night Football, is there really?
That's just me getting ready for my rant.
Somebody just had an avalanche in their kitchen.
All right, Ollie, do you wanna say you a little bit, and I'll counteract you with some cold hard
Okay.
stats that I found on my lunchtime break.
So we were poor. It was a bad day at the office. I'm going to blame it on injuries because we had 8 of our 11 starters missing on defense, and they played like backups. But I think the loss was on Kyle. A lot of people are blaming Jimmy, but I thought Jimmy played well. Ollie, I know you have Jimmy's stats in front of you. Give me Jimmy's stats.
29 from 41 attempts, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, QBR rating of 87. I know I did see one of the interceptions. It did go through Debo's hands.
Yeah.
And I know, Phil, you said it's still on him because it was too high. I think if it was low, it would have been intercepted because the linebacker was coming across. It's the only place where it could have gone. I haven't seen the interception, so I don't know what
The other interception was him throwing up a prayer on the last play of the first half, so I don't blame him.
Okay.
Snap.
Yeah.
We need to remember that Debo dropped one that was definitely catchable. Ayuk dropped one that was catchable, and Ray McLeod and Charlie Werner both dropped 30, 35-yard.
Oh, I saw the one that went
Plays.
straight through the guy's arms and legs.
Yeah, that was Werner.
I saw that
but
one in red zone.
Ray McLeod threw one where dropped one where Jimmy put it in literally the position you would want it, like it was on a string, and he just dropped it. I thought Kyle Shanahan's play calling was awful.
He has to go, Ollie. I honestly think at the end of the season, if it's a genuine choice of do we keep Kyle or do we fire him and promote DeMarco, like
I think you need to get the season done with. See where you are at the end of the season, because like you said, if you've got 11 injuries out already this season, out your roster of 53, that's a lot.
I mean, I'll come to it when I get my little.
Brandon Ayuk had a great game.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, wasn't it, Brendan Ayuk? Yeah, 2 touchdowns for 83 yards.
Here's a little stat I got. Debo forced 9 missed tackles on Sunday, which is more than any other wide receiver has this season. And Debo's done 20 overall, just by the way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Now, Phil, I'll let you go on to your little rant. Well, it's probably going to be...
All right.
Wait, let's just see this. If you had to keep one, Phil, would you keep Jimmy G or Shanahan?
Jimmy G, because Jimmy G will just be a backup next season.
Lance is not to blame for any of this, apart from getting injured.
All right, so this is what
just keep poking the bear, Dave. Just keep poking the bear.
And this is what I'm genuinely willing to die on the hill. All right. The Falcons' offense came into the game averaging 23.6 points per game, and the 49ers' backups held them to 21 points.
28.
28.
No.
21
I know where you're going with this.
Okay, no, because that defense held them to 3 scores. All right. The Falcons' defense came into the game allowing 24.4 points per game coming into this. The 49ers' offense just scored 14. And this is a 49er offense that does not have major injuries missing.
Trey Lance,
Not-
Elijah Mitchell, Trent
Yeah,
Williams.
but that run game is, I mean, how Carl's been using the run game for the last 5 years is in and out, in and out.
Trent
in and out,
Williams.
in and out.
Trent Williams. Yeah, but Trent Williams is the biggest part of that.
Oh, no,
team.
absolutely. But then Jimmy didn't even get pressure. Jimmy didn't get sacked.
No. But Trent Williams is bigger in the run game than he is in the pass game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and then we think about like the 14. Like, we only scored 14 points, and everyone will get a blame. Yes, Jimmy will get a blame. Debo will get a blame. George will get a blame. I mean, the drops, the fumbles, the turnovers, it will get a blame. However, Jimmy was effective on the screen pass. As soon as the Falcons sussed that out and they tried to change it, that nullified Jimmy's offensive output.
Yeah, I was just there. It's like, throw it past the sticks, please. Just throw it past the sticks.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Shane would just like to say that he is not hiding on purpose, like Tom may have suggested earlier in the show.
I just.
You sure, Shane?
I'm just like Jimmy. I mean, I've made up my mind on Jimmy. Jimmy's not my guy. I'm not remotely interested in Jimmy. Jimmy will just break our hearts regardless of how he plays 1 week, and then he'll suck the next 3 weeks, as we're seeing already. He's had one good game since coming into this 49er offense.
Was that the one against the Rams or the one against the Panthers?
I would argue probably. I'd actually say the Panthers. He played well against the Panthers. I didn't think he played that well against the Rams. And if we're talking about his interceptions, the one that I watched that play, and yes, it's a high ball. However, I can't blame
John being brutal again.
Shane Harris is still in the cupboard under the stairs, right? Yeah, Shane's waiting to come out the closet.
Yeah, I mean, you've been very harsh, not harsh, but critical on your love affair with Jimmy G. And I think it's safe to say it is a love affair with Jimmy G. You know, because
I used to be a massive Jimmy. When he got us to the Super Bowl, I was all in on Jimmy G. I was like, I remember watching it going. Jimmy G is like our modern Steve Young. Like he's better than Alex Smith. He's better than Kaepernick. He's better than Hoyer. Like we traded to get Jimmy Garoppolo, and just ever since at the Super Bowl where he literally threw it away and cost us the Super Bowl from a winning position. Yes, he's not faultless. However, just my mental attitude towards him changed since the Super Bowl. And I just see him as a very limited quarterback who isn't particularly well skilled. I wouldn't even call him a game manager. He doesn't take risks. And the amount of times yesterday where he could have stepped up into the pocket to prolong the play, and he didn't. He wasn't pressured for the interception that he threw at Debo. He just made the wrong choice.
Do you want to know my hot take on Jimmy G? Jimmy Garoppolo will still be around the running goal next season.
Yeah, he'll be third string at this point. He'll be holding the ball for the field kick.
He'll be the long snap holder.
I don't want to keep talking about the 49ers because ultimately it will be that offense that suffers because of that. Like we're very, if we don't have a fully functioning defense. However, other than Nick Bosa the weekend, that starting 7 started the game before.
Can we go on to a happy team now?
Can I
talk now?
Yeah, go on. Sorry. No more 49er talk. I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Stop muting me. Wait, on the bounce. I would,
You asked me to stop muting him.
Don't be an idiot.
You're too happy.
I'm not gonna get overly carried away. Do you like it when I'm happy or do you like it when I'm angry?
Angry for the
because
contents.
we played the Lions. Yes, we shut out the number 1 scoring defense, and we shut out Cleveland Browns. We've got more holes than the calendar at the moment. They've got more issues than bloody anywhere in the bloody league.
It was nice to see that the Browns are actually building their franchise now.
Oh, that was actually quite funny. But the fact that our O-line is now stepping up, our O-line's Billy Zappi's got just under a second and a half more than Mac did when he got injured against Cleveland in a total. And I don't know if it's because they finally worked out that Wynn is a useless right tackle. And if you want to take him to replace, Trent Williams while he's out injured, feel free. We'll let you have him for a 5th rounder.
Yeah, I think we'd rather have Robbie Anderson for 6th and 7th.
Yeah. Our defense again, shutting out the number one scoring team in the league last week, and could be a fairly explosive offense in Cleveland. Stepping up, we kept Nick Chubb to 56 rushing yards with 12
Ollie, what do you
attempts.
think about this?
Mac. Dave, you know my answer to that. We've had a very heated discussion in the group chat about this, and you know it's Mac. I would love to see this offense under Mac probably in a couple of weeks' time. I don't think he'll be ready to play next week. I think it's going to be another couple of weeks. But give Mac this time. He is a step up on Zappy, and Zappy has done a good job, and he is going to be a solid backup quarterback in this league. He could even be one of those bridge quarterbacks like a Heineke. I'm going to say it like a Jimmy G. Tyreek Thornton.
You're right, John.
Yeah. The Cleveland defense held well in the first half. And then Belichick, as Belichick does, made the adjustments, a couple of blow coverages, a couple of slips here and there, and we're in. Tyreek Thornton, 2 great touchdowns. Good to see him on the board. Ramon Stevenson, he's another 76 yards rushing yesterday and a couple of touchdowns.
When fancy football question, when's Harris back?
Multiple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not going to be around for a bit. And answer that question. As someone said there is things in that Zappy's done that I wouldn't, that Mac hasn't done. Zappy is a good quarterback. The playbook has been cut right down for simplify for Zappy. Give Mac that playbook and it'll be opened up and it'll be like Zach Wilson coming back.
Don't worry, be Zappy.
Huh?
Don't worry, be Zappy.
Exactly.
That's cheap, Ollie. That is real well cheap, man.
That is very, very, very cheap.
It was there. Someone had to do it.
It was. I mean, Devontae Parker has 60-yard catches, and
I think this.
Yeah, he did try it. Yeah, I don't think he'll be ready next week, and he might be ready for Chicago.
What do you think? Was Cole Strange the player of the game?
Cole Strange is looking an absolute steal at 22. Or wherever he picked him at 24. He looks such a good there. I was going to compare him to Jets Vera Tucker from last season. Vera Tucker's played across the line and as good as he is. And Cole Strange has solidified that left guard position so well. He's had the fewest pressures come through him, the fewest QB hits, the fewest sacks come through him from a rookie O-lineman in God knows how many years. He is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'm not going to say any more now because I'm going to go on to New York Jets because I love talking about Green Bay getting beaten more than I love talking about the Patriots.
I think we all enjoy talking about Green Bay getting comprehensively beaten.
They got beaten on all 3 sides of the ball.
Yes.
They had a blocked field goal, blocked punt. Their defense, couldn't exactly hold. They held Zach Wilson to 110 yards, but Bryce Hall had 116 yards rushing. But they didn't need to do anything on the offense because Green Bay's offense is shocking.
I mean, in the first half, Aaron Jones had 3 carries.
Yep.
Aaron Jones, literally their most dynamic player on offense, had 3 carries. Aaron Jones basically is their offense.
He is, and whenever someone said to me, "Oh, Caddy asked me to pass on," I said Aaron Jones because Green Bay is going to run through that offense. That's his offense. He's going to go for him.
As Dave said, they definitely need a wide receiver.
They definitely do, and I don't think, I know they've been in the talk for CMC as a potential landing spot. It is that a wide receiver, an Odell Beckham style wide receiver they need, I think.
And I mean, with Randall Cobb getting carted off, they're even lighter there.
It's an ankle injury as well, wasn't it? But,
yeah.
Lazard, he had 4 for 76 yards and a touchdown. He looked good in London as well.
The Packers team might be hit and miss, but they seem to be a lot more than miss than hit. And yes, I know they beat you in overtime, but Zappy had just come in and it just wasn't a good game for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, even then, the second half against us, they weren't that good. We outscored them in the second half. It shows a lot. I mean, Green Bay,
As Jack said, they've lost to both the New York team in 2 weeks.
I love that. And both times I had New York to beat them, and I'm so happy.
Including in front of us, of me and you, Ollie, in London.
Oh, God, yeah, that was so good. I mean, we'll get to New York in a minute
Can
because
we
Barkley is absolutely
can we just talk about Sauce Gardner wearing the cheese hat at the end?
superb. And
That's
it didn't.
amazing.
And he was still wearing it on the plane.
And
Back about.
Lazard having to go out and knock it off.
But why? As I said, that is going to make this guy a fan favorite.
Yeah.
He's going to, like, across the league, not just New York, but everyone's going to like him because he's like, don't give a fuck to you. Who cares? This guy's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. John said, couldn't be happier for Rodgers. I didn't realise Jordan Love came in for 4 plays. 3 for 8 yards. Woohoo!
I'm very surprised we didn't bring in Purdy yesterday.
Really?
Just going back to the Niners. Anyway,
Should we
move on to the Jags Colts?
Yeah, Kelly's not very happy about Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, I saw the Facebook post.
Was it 24 seconds away from 156 quid?
Yeah.
I
mean Packers and Bucks and Cardinals let down my bet. But then I had another bet that came in and won like 40 quid off it, so that was pretty good.
Can't complain about that one, man.
That was on the Bills Chiefs game.
I was high on Jacksonville when they were 2-0.
Yeah.
Or 2-1 or whatever it was. But now they're not, they're not looking like they were week 3.
This is one of two things that I look at it as
Dave just said
in
that.
terms of maybe. Go on. You say yours, and I'll say mine.
I was just going to say, Dave said that the Jags have started off so well in the 4 games, and I just think they lost a couple of games, lost confidence, and have nosedived.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it could be a bit of defenses have just had to play Trevor, because if you watch the game, Indy, there was one particular, I think it was like I think it was an option, and the defense read him. I think defenses are I think they figured out how to play against Trevor Lawrence this year, because we think like in terms of his development, he's a year behind, because of what happened with Urban. But I think this season they'll be very meandering now. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish like with a mildly losing record. We're talking like a 10-7,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Because I've noticed a drop of it. It's not that they're playing poorly. I just feel like both sides of the ball are being worked out very, very quickly.
To be honest, Kelly, Wembley are used to damp squibs of a game because you always send over rubbish games for Wembley.
Although Jags always win at Wembley. Yeah,
I can't wait to go to the Jags game. Going off the back of it, did you see the interview that Blake Bortles gave recently about him post-career?
No.
Well, basically, it was on this podcast, and I watched it because it was kind of like a weird podcast, Cribs, like if you remember MTV Cribs, where he was talking about like his lifestyle now. He lives like in the countryside with his he's just got a really, really good life. He just seems like a really, really decent guy. And he was asked about like trolls, like does he still get like expound about saying, did you're crap, you're rubbish, you want all that in the NFL? To which he responds like, well, in the years that he was in the NFL as a quarterback, he made $44 million. He said I was average for long enough that they paid me $44 million. And I was just like, that's quality. That's absolutely quality. Oh, I'm going to boo the living daylights out of Russell Wilson. I'm going to full on vex myself. I can't wait for Josh Allen to absolutely muller Wilson.
I like what Dave said.
I'm wondering on John's question, do you think Lawrence will remain at Jacksonville?
Yes, I think when his contract's up, he's gone.
I think it depends what happens in the next 2 years. And as Dave said, free agents and draft will be key for them next year.
I could see Trevor Lawrence replacing Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Yeah. Or I could see him either in Green Bay, or I could maybe see by the time his contract comes up, maybe going to the Raiders.
Could be.
What about replacing Brady at Tampa Bay? Or do you reckon that Brady?
I think I think whatever
Brady's
Tom
killing
Brady
that
does
team,
or whatever
but
the
we'll get
Bucks
to the end
do,
of it.
Yeah, but Brady has
that team is going down. Like,
Brady has
going
1 year. Brady has 1 year left. Bridge quarterback for a year. Suddenly, Trevor Lawrence is up for grabs if they don't extend for
I
5th
can't
year.
see it.
They
I mean, that's a
normally
great
extend
idea,
for
Ollie. I'm
fifth
not
year,
knocking. Then we might as well just say, oh man, how about like in a couple of years, will the 49ers just go for Trevor Lawrence because Trey's contract will be up, Trevor's contract will be up. Why don't we just get Trevor Lawrence?
Shall we roll on to Minnesota
Yes.
and the demise of Miami Dolphins? Because
I want to see what Phil says because Phil came on saying how he was sold on the Dolphins. So no, the Vikings. So I want to see what you want to say about this, Phil.
Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second where you just talk about them. Hold on.
He's changing into his Vikings jersey, isn't he?
changing the Vikings tops. But what? So Tyrod, no, Bridgewater cleared concussion protocol, was cleared to play on Friday.
They decided
could
to start with Sky
Sky.
Thompson anyway, but then he left in the second quarter because of a thumb injury.
Broke. And he's going to be out for a while. And Bridgewater came in.
It'll be nice to see Tua back next week, though.
It's going to be interesting to see Tua back. How much scarring is there? Not as in physical scarring, but mentally scarring.
Did you see his brother got cut off Maryland yesterday? Or
No, I didn't see that. I thought we got rid of a Vikings fan.
Yeah, me too.
Who's on the back of that one?
Oh,
Okay. Yourself. I was about to say, I don't remember a 13. Yeah, there's a lot of wrong about that Miami team at the moment. They're a mess at the moment, aren't they?
Just an aside, have you seen that Tyreek Hill is currently on track to beat Megatron's single season receiving
I was looking at his records earlier.
700 yards already, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's mad.
His weekend, I mean, he got 177 yards from 12 receptions with no touchdowns.
It's mad, isn't it? And then you got someone like Dalvin Cook who's running for 77 yards. Jefferson, 107 yards with no touchdowns.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
We are in a very good class of receivers at the moment.
As John's made a very good point.
That is very true. Very, very true. But I can't see the Dolphins doing that this year.
Do you care to comment, Phil?
Yeah, I did.
He's off again. He's got so many jerseys. I think he's got about 15 teams' jerseys. It was ridiculous.
He's going to turn up in like a college jersey now, isn't he?
I am so tempted to get a Bama jersey.
Bama, after they got taken apart by Tennessee last night.
With Mac on it. So yeah, that was a hell of a game, that Bama-Tennessee game.
Have you seen Tennessee celebrated by taking down the goalpost and throwing them in the Tennessee River?
No. I feel like I need to though.
Yeah, we'll share that because it's probably somewhere.
I've got it if you want it.
Yes.
Minnesota, talk to them about us, Phil.
All right, so Kirk Cousins is everything that Jimmy Garoppolo wishes he was. He's not as good looking as Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's a better passer, and I think he's a better quarterback as a whole. But in terms of where we're currently sitting, I said at the beginning of our season with our predictions that I thought the 49ers, I did think the 49ers would do better than they were. But the Vikings, I thought were going to be like a really, really underdog kind of story because I put JJ down as my offensive player of the year. He's been consistent. He's been really, really good. I mean, however, he's not been, I don't know, as effective as I thought he would be. I mean, he's carried the team well. Thielens really, really held out this year.
Isn't he like isn't he like second in the wide receiver for yards?
In terms of wide receiver, I've got Tyreek, Stephon, Pittman, Chase, and Waddle are the top 5 that I've got in front of me on the ESPN.
3, so it's Hill 701, Diggs 656, Jefferson 654, Cup 607, and Waddle 533.
Sorry, I'm looking at everything. Looking at weeks. Hold on.
I've got the stats rolling across the bottom in a bit. Yeah, I mean,
I've only got this week's stats up. I'm going, oh, they're not in the top 5. He wasn't on the top 5 this week, but yeah, JJ is just phenomenal. They just look like a happier team. And we talked about like Mike Zimmer sucking the life out of Minnesota. But this season they look like a completely different team.
yes, it does.
Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah,
It is. It's that offensive mind and like going, oh, we're 4th and 2. We're going to take a field goal. Oh, it's 4th and 2. We got Jefferson. We got Cook. We got Phelan. We've got. I can't think of the tight end's name off the top of my head.
Smith Jr.
Yeah, you've got these brilliant playmakers. Let them go and take the game out of the hands of the team's
It's quite nice when you look at like NFL teams who are. When we think of like their very traditional aspects of Minnesota has always been a very defense-heavy side. That's kind of like what they've built there.
Purple people eaters face.
Yeah, and like the same with the Steelers. The Steelers had like the Iron Curtain, the Steel Curtain. That was their big thing in like the 70s when they were like dominating the NFL. Well, it's quite nice a team that we would stereotypically class as defensive, but it's actually now the offense that are actually carrying the team. It's very reminiscent of, and I'm not comparing them at all to like the late 90s team where they nearly won the Super Bowl with Randy Moss, but they've got a wide receiver core which is top tier. I wouldn't say they're the best in the NFL, but they're top tier.
Who is the best in
any other?
I mean, I think I put the Vikings. Did I put Vikings best in the NFL when we did it, Ollie?
It was either them or Dolphins. Can't remember.
I think I put Niners one, but yeah. Oh, I definitely put Niners in top 5.
No, not anymore.
Do the Vikings
play more freely because there's less pressure when everyone expects Green Bay to win the division? Yeah, but I think that's a problem with their division as a whole because it has been Green Bay heavy for the last 10 years.
God, yeah.
I mean, when was the last time the Vikings were relevant? When Brett Favre was quarterback?
I don't think everyone is expecting Green Bay to win it this year, though.
I don't think they are now.
No,
Definitely not the way they are now.
It's the Brady effect. It is the Brady effect. When Brady's in that division, every team kind of goes, "Oh crap! Oh god, we're going to play Tom this week, or we're going to play Peyton this week, or we're going to play Drew this week." But it still has that air of like, "Oh, we're playing the Packers this weekend." But A-Rod's not the same as he was 2 seasons ago. Or 3 seasons ago.
Last season.
Like playing Big Ben. Big Ben last year was it was horrible to watch him because for 15 odd years, he'd been top tier. I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But last year, no one was afraid to play against the Steelers.
Do we think?
And no one's afraid to play against Aaron Rodgers this year because he's one little hissy fit away of just like throwing his toys out the pram again.
Do we think Aaron Rodgers' career is going the same with Big Ben's?
Yes. Oh, there we go, Ollie. We agree.
There you go.
Yeah.
And on that happy note, should we go to New Orleans?
Yeah. To the Bayou.
That was a hell of a game.
Yeah.
That was a good game. Really good game. You know, I had obviously Patriots on one, Red Zone on the other, and every now and then it's just seen that Jamar Chase, who was like running the end of the fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go, tiptoeing down the sideline. It was, you know.
Burrows started off poorly and sort of grew into the game, I thought.
I think Cincinnati in general started poorly.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be a way they're going off and they're starting slow and they're building up and they're able to make changes at the halftime like Patriots can do.
Yeah, but it's proving Zach Taylor is a good coach. I mean, we knew that, but the fact he is having to make adjustments like Kyle Shanahan can't, and adapt with the game.
Has Andy Dalton done enough to win the starting role in New Orleans? Because that was the talk that was going into this. I mean, he didn't make any mistakes. He was 17 from 32, so you could say that's a bit crap. He didn't throw any picks, it's not bad. But
he's not winning games.
Exactly, that one.
It's a results business. He's not winning games.
He is very, very correct. That, Chase is getting back on par with Burrow. I think that O-line is getting better.
The Bengals are starting to creep back up now. The O-line needs protecting. But yeah, back to the if Dalton was playing like that and winning games, then maybe. But the fact that he's lost both games he started, although played well, it's a results business. If he's not winning games, he won't in the starting role.
Yeah.
I mean, Kamara had 19 carries yesterday,
I
But
love
if you look
John.
at
John, I wish we could be 4 and still score 30 fouls. We seem to start well, then concede 30.
yeah.
To be fair, John, you do.
But if you look at the targets, Marquise Callaway had 3 from 7. Jawan Johnson had 4 from 6.
Yeah, I know
Kamal was 9 from 6.
Dalton didn't have many receivers yesterday.
He wasn't, he's not. He's making the passes, just the receivers. I saw a couple where the receivers, they're in the breadfin and they're dropping them. Especially Callaway. Callaway literally was there and he went straight for his hands.
Callaway was doing an N'Keal Harry impression yesterday.
No, he made N'Keal Harry look good. Cincinnati are coming back. They are looking good. They're now 3-3, so they've won 2 out of the last 3 games.
Yeah, as Dave says, Kamara isn't fully fit, Thomas out, and they don't have any other weapons.
Completely, and it is getting quite bad. Can we take the mick out of Shane for the next 3 minutes?
Of course.
Well, is Shane back in the closet so we can talk freely about him?
Yes. Shane is like Harry Potter under the stairs.
I am so happy that Barkley's back, and New York have got teams there that they should be showing now. I'm probably watching too much Good Morning Football, and that's rubbing off them because their love for the New York football is going on. But the fact that Barkley had that announced to stop on the 1 yard line or half a yard line,
that was good.
To kill the game. It was like you probably had a few fancy footballers throwing their shoes at the TV.
It reminded me of Todd Gurley a couple of years ago when he was supposed to do that and he didn't, and he scored.
He fell over, didn't he? He stopped. There was Chubb did it as well earlier on in the season for Cleveland, didn't he? He stopped and he was meant to stop and went over through the touchline as well. I asked the question about Andy Dalton. Is Danny Jones now doing enough?
Dave just come in and said, this Giants team, what is winning them games?
How well they are coached, and the fact that Barkley is there, and the fact that Danny Dimes isn't doing anything wrong.
Yes, I do think Danny Dimes has done enough to get a contract. He
is he's playing really well. He played really well in the second half at London against Green Bay. Really well. Barkley looked back to his best.
He's almost being a bit like Lamar with the running threat.
Yeah, I mean, he rushed yesterday for only 6 yards.
John said Chubb did it against the Jets.
Yeah, on that comeback game.
Yeah.
I would love, as I only saw what was on Red Zone, I'd love to know Shane's view on this. I've seen what he's tweeted out or what he's put out on his socials that he's not happy with Lamar.
Did it go to overtime or not?
No, it was 4 straight quarters. It was 0-0.
That's what I thought.
Then Baltimore went 10-7 up, and then at halftime, New York outscored them 14-7 in the last quarter.
Yeah, I mean, New York are good at coming back. Both teams are very good at coming back because the Jets have done it a couple of times this season too.
Yep. Lamar Jackson rushed for 77 yards. He rushed for a third of the amount of yards that he threw for.
Dave's glad that the Ravens lost.
And me. I went all the way to Boston to see them beat the Patriots. I'm not happy.
Come back down from cloud 9.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, Ravens have looked average at best.
Yeah,
I think. Lamar doesn't look like he's worth the 400-odd million or 250-odd million he's demanding. It's getting stupid out there now. Yeah. That team. Tom Brady roasting his O-line. Anyone see that one?
Yeah, I just saw. I saw that with a caption: "Protect the tablets."
I saw something saying, "I gave up my wife and kids for this."
Have you guys seen the sign that a Pittsburgh fan was holding saying, "Tom Brady, tell Giselle that I'm available," and he was about 12 years old?
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Bless.
I've also heard something about Zach Wilson saying that he didn't realise there was a yoga thing down the school from MetLife. Mad, it's mad.
Dave said something is defo up with Brady. Yes, old age is catching up with him.
Yeah, and I think he's starting to regret coming back.
Yes.
It
wouldn't surprise me if he retires mid-season.
Tom Brady will not quit like that.
Yeah.
You know, if his wife said to him, "It's me or football," he said, "He'll see you in 6 months." It's that kind of thing. You know, he should have bowed out last season.
His wife seems to have given him that ultimatum.
Yeah. He should have bowed out last season when he was leading in rushing, leading in touchdowns. He should have bowed out then. That was as good as he can get.
Yeah.
This is true.
I did not know that.
So he went to see Kraft's Secret he went to Kraft's Secret Wedding, stayed up at night and not turning up Saturday.
Yeah, he stayed down really late on Friday night.
Now that I did not know.
But Dave's saying you should not never count out Brady.
You shouldn't, however, Father Time is undefeated.
You know, it's Drew Brees, wasn't it? That last season of Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, Big Ben, Joe Montana in '95. I mean, Dan Marino. Did I say Brett Favre? Brett Favre.
Yeah.
You know, these are great.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I mean, at least Peyton went out when he couldn't do it anymore. I mean, his defense carried it. Like that last season.
He won a Super Bowl that last season, didn't he?
No. Yeah. But that's not. But if you watch it, he wasn't good enough in that season where his defense was like Von Miller and everything. They carried that team. So when it came to the Super Bowl, it was just hand off, destroy Cam, ruin his life, hand off.
Love that.
Brady probably should have left when he won the Super Bowl with the Bucs.
Yeah. Like that's literally perfect fairy tale. Yeah, come back, repeat. All right, we do repeat. All right, maybe.
John, it took Phil 1.5 minutes, less than 2 minutes to bring up Trent.
Sorry, John,
you actually the first one you mentioned it, Ollie.
We'll talk about quarterbacks who will be remembered and actually are eligible for the NFL Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, on this podcast, Trent Dilfer will be remembered.
And you know what? Trent Dilfer, you coward, the amount of times I've tweeted you and you have not responded to this podcast is absolutely abomination, mate. The absolute the sheer hubris and arrogance of you, Trent Dilfer, to not respond back to the Third and Long podcast. We're asking you legit questions about your quarterbacking expertise. But that's just me.
Should we ask him to come on the show?
I actually have. I think Shane was going to network him as well.
We all need to slide in the DMs. As Kelly saying,
do you know what? We'll get Steve Young before Trent Dilfer even responds to us.
Yeah, Yeah, that is true. That's good. Good bit of knowledge. Good bit of googling there, Kelly.
And as Dave said, as much as he loves Brady, he can do no wrong apparently. But it's time.
Yeah,
it is time now. You know, I've got a Brady shirt which needs to be framed and hung up. As Kelly is right, he is the least sacked quarterback in the league, and it shows that his O-line are doing it. He seems to be more rushed, and he does get crap penalties called for him on his side, but it's not the Tom Brady was 2 years ago. Not even the Tom Brady from last season.
No,
there has been a big fall off, and I think that his outside life has caught up with him now.
I mean, people have been saying that he's going to drop off for about 10 years now, but I think he actually has now. Kelly's saying, I don't need Google. I actually watch these games the same as you.
I know. I'm messing. He knows I'm messing.
And Dave's made a good point. The Steelers did play well, and we've not mentioned that.
Yeah. And
Kenny Pickett went out in the third. Mitch came back and led them to the win.
Yeah, Mitch was. I've clicked onto the next game. Mitch went 9 for 2 for 144 yards and a touchdown with a QB rating of 142.4.
Yeah.
Najee Harris only rushed for 42 yards from 14 carries.
Yeah, he's killing my fantasy football team.
Chase Claypool again with the elastic body.
Oh, that guy had a game last night.
Yeah, I mean, 7 catches, 96 yards. So, plays really well for 2 weeks. Played crap the next 4 weeks. I drop him the first week back and he plays absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, somebody's already picked him up on the waiver wire.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's sat in there.
Oh, is it your old man, is it?
He sat in the next room there, and I was the one that advised him to do it.
Absolute baller. I love your dad.
Noah picked up Mariota and left him on the bench.
Yeah, well, I had Joe Burrows on the bench with Matt Stafford playing.
Shall we go to Matt Stafford?
Also, Pico beat me, which is really annoying because it's Pico.
Shall we go to Matty Stafford now?
Yeah, let's go Matt
Yeah.
Stafford.
They struggled for 3 quarters to move the ball against the Panthers. The Panthers.
Yeah.
And
But
despite
also-
being a wide receiver down because he got kicked out for
Oh,
arguing
that
his
was-
coach line.
That was funny. That was quite
Yeah.
funny. Having an argument with the wide receiver coach, and then your coach is like, "No, get off the field. Just leave."
I love the fact that the coach had the bollocks to do that.
And then trades
you're
it for a
not-
6th and 7th rounder the next day.
A 6th and 7th rounder that is 24 and 25. It's not even next year's draft. It's a year and a bit. You might as well go, just give us something just to make it look like we're not.
It's
giving away
it's effectively a bag of crisps and 2 pints, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not even that. I think it's a blooming glass of water and a blooming piece of
Pork-
bread, I think, isn't
Pork
it?
scratchings.
Yeah, pork scratchings.
And as Dave said, they're going to have Hopkins on one side and Bobby Anderson on the other. Then again, I think Bobby Anderson's overrated, but
I do as well. Very much do. C-Mac looked all right.
yeah, C-Mac's
69 yards
See,
and
C-Mac's
89 yards.
I've already convinced myself that C-Mac's coming to the Niners.
Yeah, I've convinced myself as well.
Let's
Yeah,
just
but
give,
you've got no one to pass. You've got no protection because
let's,
all your
let's,
O-line
just,
dead.
let's just give Carolina whatever they want for C-Mac. If you have to trade away our first round pick for next year, let's just do it.
We have a first by next year though.
No, you don't.
We do. This because we traded.
Oh, because you traded someone for it, didn't you?
No, we traded our first round pick in 21 for Lance, our first round pick last year, and our first round pick 2023. So if we trade our 2024 first round pick, we still have that at the moment.
Okay. I wouldn't trade a first. I'd trade a second or a third for C-Mac.
Interesting.
What?
Deshaun Jackson visiting Ravens.
Yeah, I saw that
35
earlier.
Scheduled workout in Baltimore on Tuesday.
So Dave said the same thing that I said when this Robbie Anderson news came out, which is Hollywood season-ending injury. So that's probably why they traded.
Mm.
Yeah, very, very much so.
I put in the chat when the trade broke, didn't I?
Yeah, you did
Both
actually.
the 9 o'clock, both the 9:05 games were shocking.
Yeah.
Seahawks, did what they need to do to beat, Kyler Murray's
Gino is
gaming
balling
team.
out.
He was only threw for 197 yards yesterday.
got-
His QBR rating.
I've got a question for you guys.
Go on then.
So a new Call of Duty game came out this week.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Cool.
go on then.
That a
I
new Call of
think
Duty,
that's it.
a new Call of Duty
Okay.
game came out this week. Could that be anything to do with why Kyler lost?
Oh, very much so. Was it 247 now, isn't it?
That's such
Kenneth Walker, though. I was high on Kenneth Walker. I picked
Oh
him
yeah,
up
he
on.
played well.
I picked him on a draft of fantasy team league that me and Ollie are in.
Yeah, he took him with the first pick of the draft.
I did 97 yards and a touchdown. And I left him on the
And
bench
you
this week.
benched him. Did you win, by the way? Because I lost.
It's tossed up between me with Justin Herbert and whoever I'm playing against and Russell Wilson. So yeah, I've won.
Because I needed Jalen Hurts to make up like 30 points and he didn't.
Shall we go to the game of the night?
Yeah.
Has to be, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you guys seen that play where Josh Allen hurdles that guy and then you just have that
Yes.
Chiefs fan like,
Yes, I've seen that play. It was a very, very good defensive first half.
it was.
Defense was on top. There were some great plays from the DBs. The D line were getting at them. Patrick Mahomes was sacked 3 times, was hurried up or hit 19 times. Josh Allen was only sacked once, but hit 11 times. Mahomes was picked twice, but that one of them was a great play from Von Miller. All game he was going on outside.
Yeah.
And the one play he went down the inside, and it made Mahomes go, "Oh, you're not meant to be there. You'd be going that side," and step out of it. And did his sidearm for him and didn't get a full purchase of it. I
Yeah.
think that what cost that one.
It sort of slipped out of his hand, didn't it?
It wasn't a clean throw. I
Yeah,
mean,
yes. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that video, but have you guys seen the video where Tony Romo and Neil Neal says this is a 24-20 type of game?
I have. I heard it, but I haven't seen the video. I've heard it, but I haven't seen it.
And Neil Neal, he literally says He's talking about the game. He goes, "This is a 24-20 type of game."
Juju had a really good game.
Yeah, Juju's arrived in Kansas City now.
And I think that taunting call on him was absolute
Oh, it was
bollocks.
awful.
Because all he did was that. Okay, yes, it was literally a yard and a half in front of the Buffalo sideline. But none of the Buffalo players reacted. None of the coaching staff reacted. And yet, flagged 15-yard penalty. It's like, what? It was ridiculous.
All he literally did was go like first down, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah. It wasn't him taunting or bouncing up and down or anything like that, but he had a really good game, and his touchdown run was really, really good.
yeah,
Stephon Diggs.
that guy is.
148 yards.
To be fair, I know I've picked a player of the week, but it might well swap to Diggs before Thursday.
Okay. Fair enough. Good job, I've done the banner ready for that one yet then.
Don't worry, I could change the banner.
Kelsey must be tired. He had 108 yards. That's 4 more than he had on Monday night. 4 times more than he had on Monday night. It's ridiculous.
But it was also for 0 touchdowns, wasn't it?
Yeah, 0 touchdowns, yeah. And Harrison Butker's now a new record. That's 62-yard kick.
And then the next kick's like 50, and Tony Romo calls it a chip shot, and he misses it.
But he went over the post.
Yeah.
And because it didn't go through the post, it was like literally that. It didn't count.
Yeah, he missed it.
But hey, it was a really good game.
It went the other side of the post, in my opinion.
It was a really, really good game.
Yeah, it was an incredible game. And Ollie's just dying.
Yeah, it's that time of the evening where my my cough starts to kick in. We're going to be back. It looks like we're going to go to Orchard Park now. Meadow Park. Is it Orchard or Meadow Park?
Orchard Park.
Stadium. Orchard Park in January now.
Yeah.
Because even though you end up on the same score, it's going to go on count back. So is Mahomes going to get a bit of revenge, or is that Josh Allen going, right, you've beat me 5 last times, so I've got the next 5?
I think the little brother's finally beating the big brother.
Yeah.
422 days, apparently, age difference. So they said last night on the cast. This is going to be a rivalry that's going to go through the next decade. This
is Brady Manning again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
All over, and it's great. But you've got these other QBs like you've always had that snapping at their heels, and if they make the one mistake, they're gonna be pouncing on it, and it's great. I love the how healthy our quarterback division is and how healthy our wide receivers are at the minute. It's brilliant. We've got some absolute star players in this league.
Agreed.
Should we move on to the only unbeaten team with another star quarterback and a star wide receiver?
Oh my God! Yeah. Can I just bring something to everyone's attention? And
go for it.
I feel quite passionate about this. If he played for any other team other than the Eagles, do you think more people would be talking about him?
Well, Hurts.
Yeah.
He is getting a lot of mention now. I mean,
but because I'm watching the Pat McCaffrey show, I've been watching Good Morning Football, I've been to a lot of podcasts and some of the shows that are on YouTube, and he's not he's getting mentioned, but he's not being talked about the same. I don't know whether it's just my outlets that I'm listening to, but I just don't feel he's getting the same hype as other quarterbacks who are very mid are getting.
He should be in the MVP vote. In my opinion, he should be in the MVP conversation.
He is definitely in the MVP conversation. I mean, he's 7th overall for rushing yards, just over 1,500 yards. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns. He's only had a couple of interceptions, which is really, really good. His rushing is the one that's stepping up as well.
As Dave said, the Eagles are getting it done quietly, but they're still unbeaten, and they're not getting the love that they should be.
No, he's rushed for 5 touchdowns this year.
Not making a lot of noise.
Well over. He's rushed for over quick mass 57, 77, over 220 yards rushing as well, and 5 touchdowns. That is good stats.
Yeah.
If this was Josh Allen, people going, yeah, he's guaranteed MVP. He's guaranteed MVP.
Yeah.
Very, very correct.
If it was Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, something like that, they'd already be giving him the MVP trophy.
I mean, the thing is, people have already given him Josh Allen the MVP trophy as it is already.
Yeah. But he had it before the season started.
Yeah. Cooper Rush has rushed the ground with a bump. 3 picks. I think they're glad Dak's probably going to be back next week.
Yeah, probably.
Zeke and Tony Pollard, they've got to keep this formula going.
Yeah.
Use Zeke, use Pollard, and let Dak throw the ball 30 times. Not let Dak throw the ball 50 times and occasionally hand it off to Zeke and Tony Pollard, because they're your battering rams. They are really good. Pollard is electrically quick. Zeke looks big. He looks strong again. Looks like he did before all that crap that had him fused with that court case.
Yeah.
It's looking good, but Eagles. I think Eagles will win the NFC at the moment. As it, I can't see a team touching them.
The way they're performing at the moment, yes, but I do think that at the moment they are the healthiest team.
Yeah, they haven't had any injuries.
That could change. An injury to Hurts, an injury to Brown, an injury to parts of their O-line, an injury to some of their key defense could change that.
Oh yeah, I mean their DBs. I mean, one an accusation. That's not even the word. Acquisition, right? That Bradbury was from New York Giants. He's had this season. He's had I think it's two or 3 receptions.
As Dave said, this deal is tight. Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. The NFC least has turned into the NFC most.
You wouldn't have thought that, would you? I mean, Bradbury's had 13 tackles this year. He's had 2 interceptions.
Didn't they pick up
9 pass deflections?
Did they pick up Darius Slay or did they trade Darius Slay?
Darius Slay, he was traded to them, I think. Yeah, I'm sure he was traded to them, but I can't remember who from or where from. If I'm truly honest, Detroit. He came via Detroit. So yeah, I mean, they've got 2 very good defensive backs. They've got a good D line. They've got an O line that's letting Hurts run around like a nutter.
Yeah.
With more control than Kyler Murray has. Yeah. I think Eagles are a genuine Super Bowl bound team this year.
Dave's just come up saying some good news for Arizona Cardinals. Following the MRI, the foot isn't as bad as originally thought. Recovery time is 6 weeks for Hollywood Brown.
So that'll put him back week 12, week 13.
Yeah, whereas they thought it was season ending.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing then. That's just come up on the group. But yeah. So the Eagles are romping away with that division, romping around the NFC. They're the only undefeated team going on. Shall we discuss the demise of the Broncos tonight?
Wait, I think there's something we need to talk about before that. And that's some very sad news.
Yes. Would you like to break it, please, Ollie?
Former NFL cornerback Antonio Dennard has apparently been shot and killed.
Yeah, he was involved in a shooting outside a restaurant in Pennsylvania. He was 32. He was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced at 3:15 a.m. Of his passing. Yeah. So he spent time with the Packers after joining them in 2013, and he briefly played as well for the Giants and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's
that's
obviously our thoughts are with his family and friends at this point.
Yeah,
incredibly sad news. I mean, especially not only to lose your life that way, but lose it at such a young age as well, 32. Yes. I mean, me and Phil are both older than him, so that's quite horrific. Monday night. Can we see anything else other than the Chargers victory?
Chargers by 2 scores.
Yeah.
How fit's Russell Wilson's shoulder going to be after that operational procedure he had on last Friday? Herbert looks unstoppable despite rib injuries. I'm gonna have one happy son and one unhappy son, I think, next week.
I mean, speaking in terms of the Denver organization as well. I mean, it's very boasted quite a lot how much money Russell's on, to the point where he's having like a ripple effect across not just the division but also in the NFL as well. And he came in with so much buzz, so much pomp and circumstance about how Russell was going to be like the final little piece to get this Broncos team back to where they should be, competing for like championships and Super Bowls. But they're 5 games in, and their offense is absolutely horrendous. They've got a losing record. This could turn really.
Everyone was going on about how Seattle had made a massive mistake by letting go. They're looking like they got the good end of the trade.
Yeah, you can see why Carroll was like, "Yep, have him, please take him." Yeah,
I'm a Russell Wilson fan now. I like Russell Wilson as all around, a lot more than Phil. I don't think it's all Russell Wilson.
Oh no!
I reckon the head coach isn't ready to be a head coach.
I think that's clear.
Yeah.
They had to get someone else in to assist him with his calls. That isn't what you need to do as a head coach. You should be taking control.
Yeah. Attitude affects leadership. I'm just throw that in there.
Exactly.
Every day at school, attitude affects leadership.
No, completely agree. Completely agree with you. Russell Wilson hasn't been playing well this season, but I don't think it's all on Russell Wilson. The players aren't making the plays that they should be making. Judy's playing well, but the other wide receivers aren't. The defense are doing okay.
John's go up saying this game has 24-20 written all over it.
Yes, love that one. Love that comment. I think Denver need to sort something out. Otherwise, their season's going to fall away very quickly. I mean, yes, they're 2-3, but they could be quite easily 0-5, 1-4.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners gave them a win, didn't they?
Yeah. And it's shocking. It really is shocking. I think that is pretty much it for today. I don't think we have time for the stats.
We'll do them on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll do them Thursday. It's fine. We'll probably have to I'll have to readjust them for them.
I don't see anyone out any of tonight getting in there, to be honest.
Maybe Herbert. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Phil, Ollie, thank you for being a part of this wonderful show we have here.
What do you say? Thank you. Like we're 7 weeks into our wonderful friendship. I mean,
as Dave says, great show.
I feel well and truly at home. Like I'm even top right of the panel as well. Like I was normally expected to be bottom right, but I'm like top right. I'm going, oh.
Yeah, you're moving
with the little logo.
You're moving up in the world, Phil.
I found it easier if I can go like that. I can go point to people. It's easier if I'm there instead of trying to work out how to get down there.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it is great to have you on.
Yeah. So as I said, as well. Dave says, "Great show, guys. Take care. Hope you.
Thank you, Deej.
You take care. You take care too, Dave.
And stay safe, all."